I'm sitting here with the wonderful
Stephen Hunter.
and he's sitting here with the wonderful Jed Brophy.
Well, welcome back to Oz Comic Con. I think every other time you've been here, you've been in production for the film, post-production for the film, doing reshoots.
We still are, actually.
For this, yeah. For the second extended edition of the fourth film.
Extended, the Peter Jackson
There's still one more to
Uber
come, isn't
version.
there? Next month? Is it next month it comes out? Yeah.
In fact, they're going to have a cinema release of all three of the extended versions, which I don't think we're invited to.
No.
But we should be.
No.
That'll be a long cinema experience.
They will be, yeah.
Yeah.
Because I know they did that for the Lord of the Rings as well. They did all three
No,
extended editions.
they were just the normal. They were just the normal ones.
They were just the normal ones.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know the last Hobbit film was only like 2 hours 20 minutes.
I
It's
know.
like, oh, that's really
What's
short.
with that?
Yeah.
It's like a short.
So we can now talk about it. We can now discuss how it ended, how it came to an end. How do you feel about the Hobbit series now that it's come to an end? What are your feelings about it as a film and as a piece of film history?
I think, I really like the fact that they kind of stopped worrying about the technology, that the 48 frames per second kind of overpowered the whole release of the first film. Critics were so damning of it that I think it was nice that actually there was kind of some substance to the films, rather than just talking about that. I hope that they stand the test of time like the Lord of the Rings one do, because, being shot in my country and being shot by a friend of mine, I'm very proud of the fact that he actually took those on. I think it was always going to be difficult to make The Hobbit after the Lord of the Rings had changed the fabric of fantasy forever, just in terms of the look and the feel and the way that they shot it.
He wasn't going to do it to begin with.
No, he wasn't.
Gore Verbinski was.
Yeah.
Well, that's right, isn't it?
Guillermo del Toro.
Oh, Guillermo del Toro was, right.
Yeah.
And it would have been a totally different film, or there were different films if Guillermo had have done it. I mean, he would have done a spectacular job. I can just imagine the sort of things that he would have come up with. But
everyone would have had an extra eye in their hand.
Yeah, exactly.
Totally,
but it just would have mechanical and stuff. But I think there's just like it's seamless now between the 6 films, which in the end, once he started doing it was like, this is what we want to do.
And I like the fact that they paid tribute to what was coming. That at the end of the last Hobbit film, they actually talked about go and find a ranger. There's a ranger up north you should go and talk to, which of course becomes Aragorn. I like the fact that they kind of pieced them together. But I always think it's a difficult thing for a filmmaker to make a prequel. Much more difficult than making a sequel. With a sequel, you just if something sells, you just put more of the same in. With a prequel, you go, well, you've got to actually, this has got to be almost better, because the expectations are so much higher. Yeah,
and I think because it was. Lord of the Rings, I mean, especially the last movie, won all the Oscars and had such high praise, and it was always going to be difficult to try and match it. And at the same time, it was a different movie, it had a completely different feel. It was a lot lighter, but at the same time, you'll always get comparisons with Lord of the Rings. So, I mean, I think the fact that it did almost as well as those movies is I think they'd be very happy with that, and it was just such a different thing to take on.
One of the great things for us is that the fan base has grown, because people who are fan of Lord of the Rings have now had children. So they've introduced their children to Middle-earth through the Hobbit films, maybe through the books, and now the kids are wanting to watch Lord of the Rings. I mean, I get friends of my sons wanting to borrow our extended edition of the long-running TV series, The Lord of the Rings. I think it's a TV series, just to watch all the behind-the-scenes stuff. And I think that's one of the great things for us, is that the behind-the-scenes, the making of these films has been so well done. The fans actually probably enjoy watching the behind-the-scenes stuff almost as watching the film.
Isn't it like there's 9 hours or something for each film?
On the extended editions, they have the 2 discs of the appendices, is that what you called them?
Yeah, I love watching those, because you're just reminded of what I remember that day, or I don't remember that day, or that's what we were doing.
It was the saddest thing to finish, I have to say.
Yeah.
The last week of filming, there were just, grown men crying. And, people say that and you go, oh yeah, whatever. But actually, it was a really hard job to leave behind. It was. I don't think we're ever going to get to do anything quite as cool in terms of the people that we hung out with and the bonds of friendship that we created.